Is Jonathan Gannon's seat finally heating up? What one dialed-in NFL insider believes would actually save the Cardinals coach and his job, and it will enrage you as a Cardinals fan, Johnny Venerable.
Plus, we say bon voyage for Trey Benson is RB1 in 2025. The latest on MHJ, Paris Johnson Jr., and draft implications ahead of Week 15. PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Welcome, Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. That one hurt, I will admit. It's PHNX Cardinals here live on a Football Wednesday, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. It's my co-host, Brack in Studio K. Noah Man behind the mic. Jacob kicking us off in the chat. No more wins. Cardinal fans making their voices heard. Bo, how we living?
We're living well, and I like the passion. I really do. I appreciate that. What's up, Shaft? What's up, Jacob? Hey, rocker vocalist AZ. Love that. An artist. Stevenson's live. Yeah, it was tough. How about Naheem? What's going on with you? Saying what's up to Johnny and myself. Say hello to our friend Noah as well. The entire crew is here for a PHNX Cardinals Wednesday, which is always brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. It's never ordinary. Check out what's up on the board at Bet365 today. And, of course, use the code PHNX365 when you sign up, because when you do that, you deposit $10, you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, baby. Yeah, no implications as far as whether or not you win or lose. You still get $150 in bonus bets. Thanks to our friends over at Bet365.
Can I just say, I hope everybody's winning with our gambling partner because we've done so much losing that it's coming out of our noses here every day when we do this show. This team right now, it's the pit of despair. We've got a Baldy interview dropping manana. That's about as spicy as it gets. And let's just say the perception of this team locally with the fan base is being echoed by Baldy and some other people we've spoken with. So I think it's important to reinsure that no, people are not ignoring the Cardinals. Yes, people see how bad this is. And I think that's the perfect kind of segue into today's show, because this is the first week where it's felt, between what we're going to speak on, Breer's comments earlier, that there could be damage in the armor that is the security for Jonathan Gannon. And again, it's nothing that we're rooting for, but it's the reality of the situation. You're not allowed to get boat raced like the Cardinals did on Sunday and essentially have no repercussions. And so kicking off the dialogue today, there was a report on ESPN, and Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler do kind of these back and forths. They're insiders for ESPN, and I'll be respectful, but also say they're not our go-tos typically. Jeremy Fowler spends a lot of time around the Cardinals organization and facility. Graziano not as much, but they are tapped in. And I think the comments that were shared specifically by Fowler were, I think, are obvious to Cardinal fans, but maybe the rest of the national media is starting to come to grips with what could be emerge in this final month of the season.
Yeah, so let's get to the quote from the article today, ESPN.com. Highly encourage you, if you're, obviously you're watching the show, you love the Cardinals, give it a read. This is Fowler's part. So this is the second part of when they're talking about Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon. Per Jeremy Fowler, keeping Jonathan Gannon is sensible play for owner Michael Bidwill, but Arizona is staring at a potential 1-14 finish. The team is miserably bad right now and finishes the season with the Texans, Falcons, Bengals, and Rams. Gannon might need to win 1, maybe 2 games to reach solid footing.
That's almost like if you haven't been paying attention to the Cardinals all year and you just assume like, hey, Jonathan Gannon's safe, and then you like say it out loud. Oh no, they would finish the year on a 1-14 stretch. How does anybody survive that? And your answer would be no shib. It's impossible. We don't see it happen. And to use the term Bo miserably bad also is a perfect kind of encapsulation. They are not playing hard. They basically quit last week. Per Theo Mackey, and I didn't look this up. Like, they're the worst tackling team in the NFL via PFF. They don't do anything well. And it's like, well, we can like Jonathan Gannon. We like him a lot. We had high expectations for this year. Benjamin Albright clearly has a lot of respect for Jonathan Gannon. Has the personnel worked out perfectly? No. Everybody loses guys, though. And then you put it out there, and it's like 1-14.
Right.
When you chose to soft bench your quarterback, like, you don't survive. No one survives that. Nobody does.
Right. Yeah. You're Teflon otherwise. It's just, what do you have? Whose pictures of this person do you own that you could use to expose them that is keeping you employed? I would say that nothing that you've done beyond the playing field in a results-based league should exonerate you from having to, deal with the ramifications of this season. 1-14 is like a bullet to the chest of Cardinals fans. Like that, it's so succinct. It's the smoking gun in all of this, with a season that had real expectations, not rock bottom expectations, because that's where they've ended up. And that matters. And it's supposed to be a step forward year and not a total collapse. And that's what we're staring down. And I think, like, there's no in between here. This discussion isn't, he won a few games and they were outside of the playoff picture again, and it was similar to last year, even just a slight departure from that. Like, this is the complete, extreme difference from where the expectations were going into this season.
It's just not something you can gloss over. Like Graziano, we didn't put Graziano's comments on here because, respectfully to Dan, it's just such a nothing burger. It's like, oh, the Falcons and the Cardinals didn't have the seasons that match preseason expectations. But, I lean that Gannon is safe and that they're going to keep, he said, not Gannon, but he said, I'd lean that the coaches are safe and they get to develop their own quarterback without Kyler Murray. It's like, oh, on what basis? On what? And it's almost like Dan had to say that. And then Jeremy's like, yeah, I agree with you. Wait a minute. They've lost how many games? They're how bad? Let me look at this closely here. They're not like Mike McDaniel making his case to maybe save his job. He's 6-7. The Dolphins are a perfect comparison because the Cardinals were dead just like the Dolphins were. But the Dolphins, and I know their schedule has been cupcake, but the Dolphins have come out and won games. They have rallied around Mike McDaniel. People thought Tua was toast this year. They were like, sit him, he's done. We lost. Talk about injury. We lost Tyreek Hill. We lost a bunch of players. Like, go check in on Damon Dog, who's our resident Dolphins fan. Earlier this year, it was like, blow the team up. And his coach, they just started winning games, quietly started. And I think a lot of people privately, like nationally, probably thought, oh, the Cardinals are like kind of doing the same thing because everybody remembers that Monday night game against Dallas. But they haven't. They've been atrocious. They have been unwatchable. Yeah. So when you start pointing that out, it's like, oh, wait a minute. How can they continue like this? The fact is that they cannot.
Yeah. If you're sitting there and you're trying to do the pros and the cons, and we did that earlier this week, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll show that later in the show. But, the way that Fowler does break it down, like when you read the kind of good cop, bad cop setup here for this article, where it's Graziano, and on paper, just for the sake of argument, like stability, you can understand that, like Michael Bidwill wanting to keep the staff in place, or at least Jonathan Gannon, and continue on and let them develop a quarterback after Kyler Murray. Like, I can get that logic. Like, that can make sense on paper. But if then you follow it up and you add the next paragraph where it says they're on the verge of 1-14 in a season where there were very real expectations and it's been a total collapse, then it says, well, I think that disqualifies you at this point.
Yeah.
Because what did we talk about yesterday? Because wanting the stability, wanting the continuity, wanting to be patient and seeing things through and give people, the fair, full chance here. You got to create and continue to have the direction of the organization still in place. You got to continue to have the locker room. Like, you've got to have still in place the infrastructure, which I think the infrastructure has fallen apart piece by piece this season.
I think, like, people don't want to compliment Michael Bidwill, and I get that, but I think this is one of those instances where it doesn't matter who the owner is. I just don't think it does. I think you take this to an owner, and the owner is going to say, it's like when you have a great employee and then something happens and my hands are tied. Mm-hmm. And that almost feels like the conversation that could happen if this continues between JG and Mr. B. It's just like, John, I wanted to keep you. How am I supposed to go to our fan base and say, like, we finished 1-14 and we were the worst team in the NFL at the end of the year, and I can't. It's an impossible sell. And it's a business at the end of the day. And I know people don't think he runs it very well, and you have a lot of admirable points, 100%. But I mean, like, it is a non-sellable resume going into 2026 if this continues. Like, but I agree with Jeremy. I think if he wins 2 more games, he's in good shape. If he beats Atlanta at home and somehow beats Cincinnati, or if the Rams sit people, I know you're smirking at that, but I'm right. And they get to 5 wins, then I think that they can say, we showed some fight, but we're operating under the assumption that there is no chance in hell that this team wins another game this year. I don't think they're going to.
Yeah, hold on. Let's unpack that. Let's unpack it here as far as the 1-2 wins mandate, what that actually would look like. We'll get into it. PHNX Cardinals.
Vibes might be low with the Arizona Cardinals, but vibes are never down with our friends at Circle K, part of the Inner Circle right now. I'm going to tell you, my favorite promotions going on in the app. Download it today. 79-cent Polar Pop. Hell yeah. 99-cent Froster. Let's go. Plus, you're going to save 30 cents per the gallon when you buy 3 12-ounce Celsius. Again, Inner Circle members visit 5 times, save 30 cents per gallon, up to 5-gallon fill up on the $5 merchandise purchase. Fantastic. Can be used all throughout December. And speaking of December is the time for gift giving. Why not dish out some Circle K rewards to friends and family? Those gift cards are white hot. And speaking of white hot, how about the meal deal matrix? $3, $4, $5 meal deal matrix. 2 slices and a 20-ounce Coke for $5. Where are you going to get that? The Inner Circle, baby. Sign up right now. Join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for more details.
All those savings, all those rewards, well, why not reallocate it towards your checking account? Everybody needs a checking account. It's time to make my style your lifestyle with Mountain America Credit Union. Everybody needs that checking account. Why not get one with built-in benefits? That's right. Everybody wants those bennies. Everybody wants those perks, baby. Look no further than Mountain America Credit Union to make my style your lifestyle, and you can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts. We could all use some of those, and offers on travel and events, so much more. Make my style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Sign up today. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. Required, insured by NCUA. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no-cost registration activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply, but make my style your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply.
Hit that like button. Okay, so you want to debrief me echoing or agreeing with Jeremy Fowler that Gannon winning 1 or 2 more games means he's safe.
Yeah. So the Arizona Cardinals, as it stands right now, 3-10 on the season. And as Fowler pointed out, the teams that they're facing down the stretch, you've got the Texans, you've got the hapless Falcons after that, and then the Bengals. That game time was just adjusted to 11 a.m. locally here in week 17. And then you've got, that game's going to be over with plenty of Sunday to spare. And then the finale against the Rams, who just absolutely bludgeoned you on your home turf just a few days ago.
Can that be non-televised by chance? Is there any way we can get that game blacked out?
Yeah, I think, can we flex that one to, Telemundo at 3 a.m.? Is that possible?
Oh, and I'll just sit and play Madden in the studio. We would rather do that at this point.
But let's unpack what that looks like, okay? So 1 win, 2 wins, 0 wins. Because they're not going to win 4 games in a row. If they go in a 4-game heater, then okay. Gannon, welcome back.
Not winning this weekend. We know that.
Right. They're not winning this weekend. They're not. I mean, the Texans are a really good team who beat some really good teams. They're not one of those teams like they're a fraud. Look at their schedule. Look who they've beaten. They've beaten some legit NFL teams.
They're the opposite of the Cardinals.
And the Cardinals have their tackle situation against the edge rushers of this team might be one of the most lopsided mismatches in NFL history. But what does 1 win do? Let's just start there. Let's start with 1 win. What does it establish? What does it do for Jonathan Gannon? So if he beats the Falcons in week 15,
which is the most likely scenario, if he wins any game. So you'd finish the year 4-13, having lost. What I don't even know the math of it, but I mean, you go 0-6 in the division, confirmed.
Yeah,
and you would be entering year 4,
16-35.
I don't think that's sellable.
Okay.
Depending.
So 1 win, you're skeptical on it.
Yeah, but I also, well, does Kirk Cousins play that game? Raheem Morris, I don't know. I don't think they're going to win that game, though, by the way.
And also think about the ramifications of winning that game. What it does to you as far as your draft
status. The Rams draft pick up, pushes yours down. Right. It doesn't make a difference for Atlanta. They're firing their head coach. It only hurts the Cardinals. It doesn't hurt anybody else but the Cardinals if they win that game.
Okay. So the 1 win there. Okay. So 2 wins. What is 2 wins? But is that a statement?
I 100% think he's safe if he wins 2 games.
Because what? It shows what? The message hasn't gone stale.
They finished in they would tell you, we won 5 games and we easily we blew 5 to 7 other games. And if we just win some of those next year, and I think they would firmly turn to injuries if they win 5 games. They would say, look at all these injuries, look at everybody we lost. And,
because it would make the 1 win at that point, it would make it more manageable, more palatable, right? Where you would see it's okay, well, that 1 win sucks because of all the negative things you just outlined, especially that Falcons game, pushing the Rams up, pushing yourself down. It just 2 wins would be a little bit more of a statement. Going 500 over the next 4 weeks shows maybe some development. Maybe there's some good performances during that. If you try to look at the context, maybe there's some adjustments made. I think 2 wins probably builds more credibility. I don't know if it's just a harder sell for me at 1, just because of the stakes where they are right now and how that just is so detrimental at this point. You can't be bad at being bad. So that's where I'm concerned. And then there's then you scale all the way 0 wins. I mean, 0 wins is there's an uncomfortable conversation that has to be had. Cardinals 0-4 down the stretch. They finalize the 1-14 finish. And there's not, you don't need to preach patience at that point. It's just kind of red flag the size of State Farm Stadium that I think you have to acknowledge that there's just not the winning as far as in the future. It's very unlikely. The room wasn't held together. That's what it would prove. Right. What we said.
You got teams. The Titans just won. You got teams that are still playing hard. I was just about to say, what are the optics of these games? I think that matters too. I think that's huge. Are the Cardinals done? They looked done last week with a quarter of the season left to go. And we know this weekend is going to be a bloodbath. Like, I don't expect them to score a touchdown this weekend.
And outside of like your offense may be able to prove some things against a really good defense this week, and maybe not allowing Jacoby Brissett to be decapitated by Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson.
Yeah.
And then your defense being able to show something in Cincinnati. Like, what true growth are you going to be able to show?
Are we operating the Rams are playing backups? Not to interrupt you. Are we operating in that sense?
We can't until there's something like that's decided. I mean, the NFC seems like it's pretty wide open. I mean, you've got I think between the Packers and the Seahawks and the Rams, and I know a lot's going to be kind of figured out what next Thursday in that division game. But I mean, I don't know if we're going to have true clarity on this going into the final week.
What if they beat the Falcons and it's ugly and they get smoked by the Bengals and the Texans and they barely beat the Rams 2s in week 18 and they come back and they're like, we're running it back. What do you think the messaging is from the fan base? Do you think people do you believe that the Cardinals have the self-awareness internally to not count a week 18 backup versus your starters? Like if the Rams play their backups, that game should not count for anything. That's the equivalent of a preseason game.
Right.
It does not matter.
It would infuriate the fan base.
It would make things so much worse. Cardinal fans are just like, just play your starters, Rams. I would say play them a half.
You have to play tight this weekend. You have to beat the Falcons. You have to play really tight, if not beat the Bengals.
Whatever happens in the finale.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to play tight this weekend?
I don't know how they do. I mean, this is just like a corpse of a roster.
Well, okay. And you've got injuries though?
Huh?
Their defense is going to be healthy this weekend.
The Cardinals, yeah.
But their defense was the bigger problem last week.
They're going against one of the best defensive fronts with.
I don't care about that. Let's put that out. Let's just say they're going to
and chewed gum trying to patchwork that offensive line together.
So I'm going to make a case right now. They're going to go up against a team that struggles to score, but they're phenomenal on defense. So if the Cardinals are just like, we're just going to run, pass, and then we're going to punt, run, pass, and then we're going to punt. If you give up 30 points to Houston, and I know they're a good team, but they win games the way the Cardinals should be winning games, where it's like ugly 17-13, 14-10. They're winning games with Davis Mills, or David, whatever his name is. That's what we were sold that you could lean on.
Get the future quarterback of this franchise's name correct.
Walter Nolen, we're going to talk about it. He's going to play. Yeah. You got all your defensive linemen. Yes, you're still starting Cody Simon, but you picked him, develop him for God's sakes. Will Johnson, Garrett Williams, everybody's playing. If CJ Stroud comes out and looks like Stafford last week, and they're running the ball at you with, 100-year-old Nick Chubb or whatever, who else is, I don't know, what's his name? The young player who's a nice player. If you get lit up by Houston's offense, it might be done this weekend.
But don't you think their defense could be so game wrecking against the Cardinals on Cardinals offense that it's just going to be short fields and it's just going to be a nightmare game?
I think they know that, and they will. I think they will play not to get blown out this weekend.
Okay.
I think.
Well, they should. That should be the game.
No. But they're going to be so conservative, and that. I think it's not necessarily a game plan that's going to win them the game.
Yeah.
Jonathan Gannon says, I'm not worried about getting blown out. Now you need to start worrying about that. The optics of these final scores, I think they are going to conservative, run the ball, try to bleed the clock, and get out of there with a 20-3 loss or something like that.
20-3?
20-3, yeah. I don't think they're scoring a touchdown. They're not scoring a touchdown this weekend. Is anybody insane? There's a good chance they're shut out. It's can they shut out I'm teasing this Baldy interview because it's insane. Tomorrow, the Cardinals' defensive game plan last week is being talked about around the league as one of the most atrocious game plans done by a coordinator this year. Like the Rams lined up in, what did Baldy say? They lined up in 2 tight ends, and the Cardinals were out there playing nickel.
Yeah.
And they didn't adjust. Dime, excuse me.
Yeah.
It was an embarrassment. And it's just like, guys, what do we do? Did they forget how to coach? That's why this whole situation is so depressing. Because the staff, especially defensively, that I held in such high regard, now these guys, it's like these guys don't know what they're doing. They're losing out. They're not winning another game. How are they going to win with no Paris?
But then there's Atlanta.
Bijan Robinson, Drake London's coming back before then. He's out this week. He's playing against the Cardinals.
It's Kirk Cousins, though. It's Kirk Cousins.
This team has lost. Trevor Lawrence threw 3 interceptions and had a fumble for a touchdown, and this team still lost. It doesn't matter.
And the Jags have 9 wins.
Falcons' defense isn't terrible. It was bad last week. It's not terrible.
I mean, the way we're talking, it seems like you better just start making your eulogy now.
Well, I think the worst of all realities is a terrible, terrible, ugly win, probably against Atlanta, and then Rams sit players and you win that game, and they sit up there and they're like, everything's fine. Mm-hmm. And everybody's going to be like, this is so fraudulent. It's like, you know what? In your first year, you went to Philadelphia and you inspired those players to compete and win. You went to Pittsburgh and beat them when they were going to the postseason. What happened to this team? That's why we had talked to people close to the situation about 2 months ago when things started to go awry. Mm-hmm. And the common messaging was, the only way that Jonathan Gannon loses his job is if the locker room quits. And we all know that's not going to happen. NFLPA report card. The players love him. Have the players just quit, though? You can't underestimate just like people just being like, I'm done with this year. I'm not listening to these guys. We're going to have changes. I'm going to ask for a trade. I'm going to be out of here. I think, do you think they've lost the locker room?
I mean, I think in a sense where it's like, I'm not willing to go out there and be reckless with my body physically, like as far as on the playing field. And it doesn't help when you are not setting yourself up to make a tackle anyway. Like we're seeing that, like we're seeing not max effort as far as it goes. And that wasn't what you witnessed in the previous seasons, because I think guys felt like, hey, I want to be here. I want to see this through. I want to be here when glory comes to this organization and see the payoff here, to where now it's just like, well, this is year 3. This was supposed to be the year, and it's been anything but. This has been a catastrophe. This has been a regression. And if there is a one-way ticket out of it, sign me up.
Yeah. If players not looking like they're giving full effort is quitting, then yes, they've quit. Like the effort was not there on Sunday. And I think that's a very much a byproduct of, like, there are teams around the NFL that are not going to make the playoffs that are still competing. Like, give the Vikings credit last weekend. They've had an egregious quarterback situation, and their players are out there. Their defense fights hard every week for Brian Flores. Every week that defense plays well.
But there is a world, though, like if they get the quarterback situation figured out, that's going to be a successful team. And players are like, well, I want to be a part of that.
That's worth selling to your fans.
Yeah.
Cardinals don't have that kind of sales pitch.
Right. It's like 2023. It's like first year, tore it down to the studs. Right. Be a part of this draft class that we like. And also Kyler's coming back. And once Kyler comes back, we're going to be a good team. And Kyler comes back and they basically play 500 football.
They were a good team.
They were a good team. They were a good team all the way up until about week 10 of last year. Week 11. And then it's all falling apart.
And it's like, did the rest of the league just catch up on what they were doing?
Kind of what happened to Cliff.
Yeah.
Everybody said it's a league of adjustments. So, I mean,
2 wins. Do they get it? I'm gonna put you on the spot. 2 wins.
Yeah.
Do they get it?
Well, I'll answer that on the other side here at PHNX Cardinals.
Concerned about putting on those holiday pounds? Well, Factor Meals has you covered. Factor Meals, I use them in my personal life. They're fantastic. Ever since they came on board as a partner several years ago, my wife and I, we've revolutionized the way we eat. And again, it's not one of these 20-step pre-food made garbage, blah, blah, blah. It's something you pop into the oven, pop it into the microwave. It's ready to go. Gourmet meals, weekly options, including premium seafoods, protein, hearty meals, stuff my kids will eat. And again, for more nutritious options, they've got 97% of customers assuring them that they're living a healthier life. And again, it's one of those things where ditch the drive-through, ditch the expensive groceries, ditch the prep that's going to take time away from spending it with your kids or your family. Eat smart and eat fast with our friends at Factor Meals at factormeals.com. All you got to do, go to their website, factormeals.com/PHNX50 off. That's use the bonus code PHNX50 off to get 50% off your first box. So if you're like, Johnny, I don't know if I want to spend the cash this holiday season. First of all, it's already well priced. We're going to slash that in half. Plus, they're dishing out a year of free breakfast. That's right. Free breakfast with the bonus code PHNX50 off at factormeals.com. Get delicious, ready-to-eat meals delivered for Factor. I know you've heard of it. Now it's time to try it. Offer only valid for new customers with the code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchases.
If you're a last-minute shopper like me, you already know the panic. We're only 14 shopping days away from Christmas. Shelves, they're picked over. 0 ideas left. Christmas breathing down your neck. You've got the cheat code gift that's always going to hit. Aura Frames, that's right. Personal, easy, and actually makes people emotional. That's right. It's a good way, an emotional one that you're going to get from Aura Frames. There's always that one person that's impossible to shop for. For me, it's my wife. It's tough. For me, it's sometimes even grandparents, it's tough to shop for. And yeah, you're frantic. Christmas Eve, shopping on the run more times than you like to admit. That's why Aura is clutch. They already know exactly what they're getting this year because it's not just a gift, it's memories. With Aura, you can upload unlimited photos and video straight from your phone. You can preload the frame before it ships, and it comes in a premium gift box. No price tag, no stress. You can find it right there. AuraFrames.com, $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, #1 by Wirecutter. Use the promo code PHNX at checkout for Aura Frames to get that $35 up, and tell them PHNX Cardinals sent you.
All right, before the break, I asked Bo, do the Cardinals get to 2 wins before the end of the season? Your guess?
I guess is no. I mean, what we've been outlining here, even though we saw the return of Walter Nolen today at practice, and he looked good. Walt looked spry. He looked like there weren't many ill effects from the knee injury that he suffered on the touchdown that he scored against Jacksonville a couple weeks ago. I think he does change the complexion of the defense. But here's the thing. You can have Walter Nolen re-enter the equation defensively, but you're now like, you couldn't stand to lose anybody on the offensive line. You certainly couldn't stand to lose Paris Johnson Jr., and that's what's happening this weekend. It's going to be tough to be competitive with Houston. And like Atlanta might be the most winnable, and then we really got to see what's going to happen in that finale against the Los Angeles Rams. And I'm not like just overlooking the Bengals. I'm not like sold to the Bengals. I think they still have one of the worst defenses in the league, and that could be a shootout. But the Cardinals haven't shown the ability to win close games. They've lost every close game that they've played in, and even the ones they led and they won, they tried to relinquish. So you got a guy like Joe Burrow. I think he'll probably be able to finish the job against you. So I'm very skeptical that they can win 2 games, regardless of if the Rams are sitting everybody in the final season, and regardless of the fact that they're facing a team in a similar situation as the Falcons in Week 15.
I'm with you 100%. The only winnable game is Atlanta because they're in the same spot as the Cardinals. I think McVay is going to know what's at stake in the last week of the regular season and knows that they can still have, like the sad thing is like they could probably play Jimmy Garoppolo and still beat the Cardinals in the finale. So I don't think the Cardinals are going to win 2 games.
Normally, I'd swing on you for saying such a thing. Like,
but it's true.
I'd throw hands just at the very idea of somebody saying Jimmy Garoppolo could beat any Cardinals team. But that's true. It's unfortunately very true.
Like, who's the backup running back for the LA Rams? It's Blake Corum. And Blake Corum, he's like, I'll take some touches in week 18. See what I did to him at State Farm Stadium? Had my best game of my life. It's like there'll be plenty of Rams that want to beat the holy hell out of the Cardinals in the finale. It's Atlanta or bust. But again, like, Atlanta's going to have Bijan Robinson.
Stetson Bennett game?
I think he's out of the league. I don't even think he's on the Rams anymore.
He's on the roster.
Is he still?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, let me ask you this. Fast forward 2 weeks. They lose to Houston. They lose to Atlanta. Is it the beginning of the end? They lose to Atlanta, and we're sitting here, and they're 3-12.
Right.
And we going to Cincy, and then the Rams game, was 2 weeks away. Do you believe that is the beginning of the end?
They're drawing dead at that point. No, because I think that there's a very real chance that what was said a couple weeks ago when things were spiraling and Jonathan Gannon was given confidence by ownership, I think that could have just been kind of unconditional and all the way through the end of this thing. And that it was bad then. It was just as bad, and it's gotten worse as far as player availability, injuries, and stuff like that. Like it could just be it could have been a hall pass to the end of the regular season. Like that's a very real reality. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm just trying to kind of that's what we could be dealing with.
Let's do a little trending up, trending down here on a football Wednesday, and then we're going to get into the practice report and maybe some draft implications. Let's take a look trending up for your boy. And I want to remind everybody, this is brought to you by our new friends at Upside, one of our favorite cash apps. In fact, our favorite. Check them out at Upside. Download it today and download these takes on Michael Wilson trending up around league circles. Needs less than 300 yards in these last 4 games to get to 1,000 yards. It's all I care about now. Get Big Willie Mike to 1,000 yards. But knowing Drew Petzing, he will probably keep him just short of that. Top 5 pick, also trending up. I think Cardinals lose out. They're a lock. If they win 4 games, they'll probably be just outside the top 5. And then lastly, John Gaines. Really impressed with John Gaines, and was the 3rd highest PFF-rated Cardinal on offense. Highest rated O-lineman. What the hell have you been doing? Why hasn't he been playing? He looks much more athletic than Evan Brown, Bo. Yeah, Jonathan Gaines.
Why has he been sitting on the bench all this season while the interior of that offensive line has struggled? Very, very frustrating. Just throw it on the pile of frustration. But I like this. I do like this. Let's get to my trending up. I've got kind of the same thing with Michael Wilson. I've got him and Trey McBride. They're getting their love outside of this market. Now, a lot of people, when they watch the games and they see Trey McBride, Michael Wilson be targeted, pass after pass, and they understand the context of that it's in garbage time, that their team is out of the game and no chance that they can win it. But there are fantasy managers out there. There are people that are betting on the Cardinals and reception totals and receiving yard totals. And Trey McBride and Michael Wilson, at the very least, are making a lot of people happy outside this market just for what they're doing to them, for them in fantasy. Like Michael Wilson, I'm seeing it all over the Twitter streets, is getting guys who have no business going to the fantasy playoffs and in a position to win a championship. And that does kind of endear yourself a little bit. It's not the furthest thing from like the biggest piece and what you want to do as a team. You want to be relevant because you're a good team and you're in the playoffs and you're playing on bigger stages. But good for Trey and Michael Wilson. And as Jacoby Brissett was saying today, nobody deserves it more than a guy like Michael Wilson. Good for him. And same thing for Trey. Trey's just as good of a dude. Significant change is trending up. As we kind of just talked about, maybe it was just set in stone that there was going to be a 26 for some of the key figures here. But I think just as far as how things have trended, that significant change is unavoidable, could be inevitable for this regime. And then last, as you had John Gaines, I've got Isaiah Adams.
Nice.
As he's re-entered the lineup, he's been a lot better in pass pro, and he hasn't been penalized. He was leading the Cardinals offensive linemen in penalties going into his benching. He hasn't been penalized. He hasn't had one flag thrown on him since his return, which I think is a very positive step for the second-year player out of Illinois.
Let's get to our trending down, and we're down in the dumps most days with this team, so you shouldn't shock anybody. Here's my trending down on a football Wednesday. Worst tackling team in the NFL. Check. They are suddenly becoming on the cusp of the worst running team in the NFL. After being top 5 for the last 2 years, their run game could finish dead last. I think there's a good chance it does with matchups against some good defenses before the end of the year. Atlanta's defense, sneaky good. And then trending down is there's some hope that's trending down. And elaborate a little bit on this. When you and I did the show for the first time in 2022, and we knew Cliff would be gone, and we knew we were finally at the dog days, the end days of Steve Keim, it was like, okay, we need to hope for change and change outside the organization. And the options were exciting, right? We talked about them continuously, and it was, Vrabel and Jim Harbaugh was, in that mix. And of course, Sean Payton. And it's just, there's a lot of hope that, like Bruce Arians, somebody could come in here and turn this around. And this is not me knocking Jonathan Gannon, but man, if you retain this regime, how do you sell hope to this fan base? The fan base needs something to latch on to. A lot of them, you've ousted their favorite quarterback, and your draft picks aren't developing. You're losing they're losing at a historic pace now. I mean, they're Trey McBride and our love affair for some players, that only goes so far. And so they need a hope remodel and a reorg this offseason, because, man, it's almost dead and buried right now.
Yeah, unfortunately. Let's get to my trending down. JG's job security, as we've kind of outlined this week, and it went from he's going to see 26 at the very least with some changes to he's got to win a couple more games. Or we saw, earlier this week, it was Breer also kind of outlining a similar scenario for Gannon, to where it's just not as cut and dry as he's coming back, according to, what was being heard earlier. Darius Robinson, as I said, 6 yards on average from the quarterback, just not being able to make an impact as a first-round pick that he was selected 26th overall in 2024, looking for more of an impact from D-Rob. What position can you put him in to be more successful and be a more down-to-down impact maker? And then Jacoby Brissett's well-being. I'm very concerned about Jacoby Brissett this weekend. He's got a warrior mentality. He's been out there. He's been, brave enough to stand in the pocket, take hits, deliver the football. And I'm looking at a Texans front seven coming up against a Cardinals offensive line that is down its best player in Paris Johnson Jr. And you've got 2 backup tackles. We'll see if Josh Fryer, what he can do, but you've got an undrafted rookie free agent that's going to have to protect his blind side. Very concerned about Jacoby Brissett's well-being, but I think that this segment is in great hands thanks to our friends over at Upside. Download the Upside app today at upside.com. Use the code. You got several different chances to get 25 cents off per gallon bonus. I mean, you just get cash back for getting gas. Pretty good app there you can download for free.
We're back around the corner with draft implications for Sunday's matchups, plus who's playing this weekend against Houston. Doesn't matter. It's PHNX. Looking for the perfect holiday gift for someone special in your life, but you don't know where to start? How about that guys in your life that are looking for phenomenal clothes, not premium prices, that are balanced with classic pieces, ready to upgrade their wardrobe? Check out our friends at Mack Weldon. I've had Mack Weldon for the better part of 6 months. It has changed the way I dress. Classic style, made from the world's most comfortable performance materials. And again, get rid of the graphic tees. Get rid of the undersized clothes. Get clothes that are easily stylable, that are comfortable, and you can get lost in their half zips, their pulleys, their hood overs, their bomber jackets, their crew necks. They've got relaxed sweatpants, carpenter sweatpants. Again, stuff that you feel comfortable lounging around the house in, plus going out to eat in. It is the perfect style, perfect place to get clothes if you're a full-grown man. Hell, if you're a young adult and you're like, I just want to be a grown-up. Well, Mack Weldon has you covered, designed to fit your style and demands of a modern life. They look like regular clothes because they are, but again, they have that modern comfort that I've been seeking for over 10 years. Mack Weldon has designed timeless, innovative menswear to help you get through your day with confidence, even when you're just hanging around in your undies. They got undies, by the way. Fall into the comfort with Mack Weldon's Ace collection. Go to MackWeldon.com. Get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with the promo code PHNX. That's MackWeldon.com, promo code PHNX.
You know, my favorite part of the holidays, it's the traditions, the lights, the food, the chaos, friends coming over. Sign me up. And of course, somebody who always ends up playing bartender. That's your boy right here. And this year, I've got a new go-to that brings a little kick to the holiday party. It's the Smirnoff Spicy Tamarind. That's right. Here, it gets even better, Cardinals fans. December 21st, State Farm Stadium. Smirnoff is giving fans a chance to try incredible signature serves featuring spicy tamarind right there on game day. It's the only way to watch Cardinals games. With them being so bad, you need this little companion by your side, thanks to our friends over at Smirnoff. Not only are they serving up exclusive signature serves, but they're also doing it in colorful, fully customized, spicy Smirnoff Tamarind truck. You can definitely get there to see it, hear it. We pull it up. Check it out right now. You'll be cheering on the Cardinals in person against the Falcons on December 21st. Don't forget to stop by and see our friends over at Smirnoff's truck and grab the spicy tamarind signature serve.
Hit that like button. Yeah, it is pretty good. It's very good, as is our capacity crowd today. Bo, you were at Cardinals practice. The show must go on. They have to field the team this weekend. Who's going to play for the Redbirds?
Yeah, Gannon opened up his press conference with just an update as far as who was in, who was out. Here's the latest from the coach.
Injury front, Paris will not go this week. Everybody else will kind of see how the week goes. We will not activate Trey Benson. Just hasn't progressed to the point that he can go out there and play football right now.
So not great about Trey Benson. We didn't learn anything about the second-year running back this season. Like, I know he had a couple big pop runs. That was when James Conner was in the lineup, but we only got before Conner goes out and Benson was given the keys to RB1 and then promptly goes out the following game. And we know nothing about him. Like, can he be somebody to carry the load? As it stands right now, we don't know. We won't know until the future. Budda Baker didn't practice. He had a rest, thumb, not practicing, which is kind of strange to be at a Cardinals practice and Budda not be out there. Beachton, he was resting. Evan Brown continues to be out. Marvin Harrison Jr. was not practicing, still dealing with the heel. We did have Max Melton get out there, who was also dealing with what Gannon said was a similar heel injury to Marvin Harrison Jr. So if you want to use the same timetable, Max Melton was out 2 full weeks there. So maybe this time next week we could get Marvin Harrison Jr. back. But then Walter Nolen was back out there. And we have the footage of Walter Nolen hitting, just kind of getting in there, and he looks good. He was praised for that rep there. Just excited to see Walt get back in there. I think he's like been their best defensive player and it's been the kind of the difference maker as far as this defense goes. Still no Rabbit. Jalen Thompson was off to the side working out, trying to get that hamstring back to where he can play. So could be down big in the safety room. I think, there's no shot that Budda doesn't play, but it was a bloodbath out there as far as an injury report.
Desert Vulture, I think, says it well. Cards fans are on IR the rest of the season for non-injury, except for personal reasons. I'm choosing to step away. As long as you guys keep tuning into this little fanboy podcast, we don't care what you do. We appreciate everybody. I echo our guy in the chat. Season's over. Concentrate on draft position and coaching changes. Well, let's talk a little draft ahead of this weekend, Bo. We're going to start doing this for the last 4 weeks of the regular season. Draft implications, the matchups to watch. Here they are for this week. Look at this graphic from Noah Man. Monty, locked in, zeroed in. Doesn't worry about maybe hiring a new coach. What's going on with the draft? Key matchups this weekend. Look at Noah putting the win-loss record in here. Hell yeah. Browns at the Bears, 3-10. If they were to win, the Cardinals lose. The Cardinals jump ahead of the Browns. The Browns are horrendous. Commanders Giants is a money game. No
Wow.
Jaden Daniels. However, Mariota to me has been better just because Daniels hasn't been healthy. So I think that's addition by subtraction. Commanders, if they beat the Giants, Cardinals leapfrog the Giants, but Giants get a W. Cardinals are just one game away from leapfrogging them. Then you've got Raiders at Eagles, which, I mean, the only hope here is that the Eagles quit on Sirianni because the Raiders I think they're starting Kenny Pickett. Max Crosby's hurt. That's the worst team in the NFL right now. Then you've got Jets, Jags this weekend. Not looking good. Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields are not practicing, so it's you and me at quarterback this weekend for the Jets. But then how about this tasty little matchup? Panthers, Saints. Here's what I'll tell you. Saints have been playing hard. Tyler Shuck's been playing well. They're at home. And, you would assume, even though the Cardinals just wet the bed in divisional matchups, most of these teams play each other tough, divisional matchups. So Saints versus Panthers, and then finally Titans at 49ers. Can the Titans do it again? Probably not.
No, they will not. Niners get their 10th win of the season. I'm going to throw up now. Yeah, this is. I think this is though a relatively favorable slate, and then Titans winning or losing is a good thing. I think like the higher up the board, the Titans, who seem to be set at the quarterback position at least into next season, and I know like it's not a lock that Cam Ward stays back, but it would be pretty unprecedented to go from 1-1 to off that quarterback. But I like this. I mean, sucks that the Browns are likely going to lose again, but I think it is a good thing if the Giants were to beat the Commanders. Like it would, because I think that the Commanders aren't in a position where they can't win again.
Right.
And I feel that more so about the Giants. I'd rather the Giants get a dub when they in a position where they potentially do that.
Commander schedule: Giants, Eagles, Cowboys, Eagles. So this is probably it for the Commanders.
The final week, they could get. Well, I guess the Eagles might be playing for the playoff and get in.
Yeah, but I mean, the Eagles are beatable right now. Giants rest of the season. This is where it gets dicey. Commanders, Vikings, Raiders. Okay, Cowboys. I thought it was much more difficult. So maybe we are rooting for the Giants this weekend because then the Giants, of course, if they play the Raiders and the Vikings, you never know with their quarterback situation. I think they're going to gain a game, in my opinion, regardless. I think the Raiders are losing out, digital dusted. I think there's a chance the Raiders have the first overall pick. If there's a team that's worse,
they need a quarterback. They're the quarterback team. Yeah.
If there's a team that's the coaching has looked worse than the Cardinals this year, it's the Raiders. They've fired both their offensive and defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming back around the corner. Your super chats and more. It's PHNX. It's not too late to sign up ahead of the holiday season with our friends at Bet365. One of my favorite times to wager on college and pro football. How about college football bowl season? And of course, the rigors of the climb, the stretch to the postseason in the NFL. And just because the Cardinals aren't playing the playoffs doesn't mean that you have to sit out of the fun with our friends at Bet365. They've got their early payout offer for both college and pro football. Again, if your team goes up by 17 points, it's an instant payout. You don't have to sweat that out. A lot of games are decided by the second half with that 17-point total. Cash in with that cold, hard cash. Again, applies to college and pro football, and this applies to all new customers. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use the bonus code PHNX365. Again, deposit 10, bet 5, you get $150. Player props, futures, do whatever you want with the bonus bets, but you got to be 21 years or older, physically located in the great state of Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text next step to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov for more info.
'Tis the season for over $80 million in prizes thanks to our friends over the Arizona Lottery. Must be 21 years or older to play, but Arizona Lottery has you set as far as this perfect gift for this holiday season. Of course, you've got the holiday scratchers in full force this time of year. It's synonymous. 6 festive scratchers this time around to choose from. Cash Countdown, which has prizes up to $250,000. Candy Cane Cash, which actually smells like peppermint. You can smell the holidays here, and also you can smell the cash. And you can also dash to instant prizes with holiday fast play tickets. And when it comes to holiday gifts, the holiday scratchers are the best place to start. Get them for your holiday white elephant gift party, gift exchange, or just, of course, those stocking stuffers. When it's made for gifting. Check it out right now. Love the play and spread the holiday cheer with holiday scratchers from Arizona Lottery. Play and gift today. So we're trying to figure out, there was a mock draft done today. I think it was the first one from ESPN of mock draft season where they had the top 2 quarterbacks go 1-2. Fernando Mendoza and Moore goes second, and the Cardinals are taking a tackle down at the 8th spot.
The kid from Utah.
Yeah, the kid from Utah. Was it Fano? Good. I don't have a problem with that selection. The only thing is you have to figure out the quarterback spot before that. Then you have to go to the trade market. You have to go to the free agent market. And we're sitting here and we're like, even those, they suck. Like, who's available? Who's available, Johnny? Who could potentially be there for the Arizona Cardinals? And we're looking, and it's like, red flag city for these guys and this contract. And I saw this today. I want you to watch and I want you to listen.
If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? So that's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table.
Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it seemed frustrating.
There's just a lot of things going on right now.
Football related, personally?
All the above. Like you said, there's nothing. All we can do is focus week to week and try to win games. I don't think anybody's really thinking about the playoffs right now. That's within reach, but on our fingertips. So we just got to keep doing what we're doing and try to get better.
Doesn't seem like a happy camper.
Moved by that?
It's supposed to be. You should just tell Joe Burrow, get out of Cincy, pull a Carson Palmer. There you go, 2.0.
I don't think that's unrealistic. I live in reality, though. Why would he come here? There's no. He's not coming to this franchise right now.
Carson Palmer. Just follow the.
No.
Follow his footprints in the snow out of Cincinnati. You of all people, I can't believe you're just being a gigantic wet blanket. Of all people,
no chance. Well, the Cardinals don't have a secure head coach. Their offensive line has been terrible this year. People are still questioning their weapons. Like they play in the toughest division in the NFL. No, it's not realistic. Sorry, friends.
Not realistic.
I'm going to tell you right now. You people aren't going to want to hear this. Like, number one, their owner's a nut job. He wouldn't trade Trey Hendrickson. It bit him in the ass. It's not trading Joe Burrow. But
he traded Carson Palmer.
Oh, because Palmer had to sit out, and it was an insane negotiation. Like,
all I'm saying is
there's a 200 times better chance that he ends up with like the Rams as Stafford's successor than he would come in here. I don't even want to entertain that. How dare you for pulling that video? How dare you?
I won't let you lecture me.
I'm going to tell you right now what's realistic, and people laughed at me last week. You know what I'm going to say?
Yeah, you're saying Jalen Hurts.
I think that's a very real possibility.
There's enough dead money to just completely collapse an entire franchise.
The cap's not real.
Burrow at least is 26 million, 21 million in dead cap.
Stop saying Joe Burrow's not coming here. Come on now. It's not puppet show time.
Jalen Hurts isn't coming here. That's stupid. That was dumb.
No, it's not. It's very real. That's very real. People want him gone. I would take Jalen Hurts in a second.
Oh, God.
What? Like,
mine's more realistic.
No, oh my God, Bo.
You got Jalen Hurts in the post game, just saying like, I don't want just the next opportunity.
I don't want this to get online and people are like, did you see on PHNX Cardinals they talked about us trading for Joe Burrow? I don't want that out there. I don't want that in the zeitgeist, in the ether.
But Jalen Hurts, there you go.
You buy low on Jalen Hurts, you bring him here, and he stabilizes some things for you. That was not his fault Monday. They were dropping passes.
Buy
Sirianni's a
low on
clown.
Jalen Hurts.
He's a
Listen to you.
clown.
You tell me that I'm foolish for saying Joe Burrow, and then you follow that up with buy low on Jalen
I
Hurts.
live in reality.
Super Bowl MVP.
You live in a delusional fantasy land. That's not, and I think it's irresponsible. We've always been responsible.
All I did was show a clip from a press conference where Joe Burrow was clearly frustrated.
I thought he was going to say something like interesting that like we could play off of, but you're just like, look, Joe Burrow's depressed. Won't he want to come to the Cardinals? We've done a show this week for 3+ hours about how this team is a disaster. I'll tell you a plan I like. We're going to go through the rigors of this offseason. There will be other quarterbacks that emerge and hopefully fringe first-round quarterbacks. Take a tackle in the top 10, trade up like the Giants did, and get a fringe first-round quarterback. And go into next year with a roster that you feel pretty good about and play the rookie. I don't have a problem with that.
Just played a press conference for Joe Burrow being unhappy.
That's just selfish thing to do. Hey guys, look at this. Hey, look at this. Look at this. Look at these keys to this Porsche I found, but it's not really mine. And if I drive it, I get arrested. That's what you're doing to the audience.
Oh my God.
Jalen Hurts is 2 seconds away from people turning on him after winning a Super Bowl and being a badass in the playoffs every year in the NFC. I know he's on a good team.
Joe Burrow in the time of player empowerment saying, get me a one-way ticket out of Cincinnati.
So he's signing up for this franchise? Come on.
He wants anywhere but here.
He will be
Cincy.
He will be a Ram. He will be a Niner. He will be not a Cardinal. Cardinals, and of course I would want him on the team. Cardinals do not deserve Joe Burrow. The Cardinals have to earn it. They have to rebuild their image. Their image is in the toilet right now. Toilet cards. Hey, we've lost 14 of 15. You want to come here, Joe? You interested? You think the AFC North is tough?
You want to take on another quarterback contract like that with Jalen Hurts? You want to buy low on Hurts? You just in a primetime game, he had a worse passer rating than the poor kid for the Vikings. And you're like, buy low. And I think that's more realistic. How dare you? You told me, you lecture me on Joe Burrow.
You brought up Derek Carr off the couch first.
In a sports town and an organization that has already done this. Yes, exactly, PK, forever. Burrow, speak it into existence.
Guys, get help. Seek help. Get help this offseason. I'll be here. Just tune out, Bo. I can't even believe that you brought that up. Johnny Is this play pretend time with Johnny and Bo? That's great. Let's get the Play-Doh out. Let's get the markers and the crayons and the blocks and then start fantasizing about Joe Burrow here. Johnny's saying the Cardinals need to glow up before considering to take a pretty girl, get a haircut, work on yourself, and get fine. 100%. Drop a couple LBs, get in the gym, read up, take a shower, get some Mack Weldon gear. And then, right now, though, you can't shoot your shot on Joe Burrow in your current state. What are their redeeming qualities? They're on a dating app. Hey, we're the Cardinals.
Johnny's over here. Hey, let's be realistic. Let's talk Davis Mills. Let's go slum it over here. This is what we deserve. You got to shoot high, my friend, or you're just be reserved to the twos when you got a 10 out there like Joe Burrow.
This is going to come off as a compliment to Bo, but he needs to understand, like, you're over 6 feet. You've probably done romantically well your entire life, and you don't have an issue shooting your shot. I'm coming out from a perspective as a 5'6.5" male with the Arizona Cardinals. It's like, you don't shoot your shot at a 10. Okay. You got it. Like me in my prime, I could maybe do that with my spouse in my maxing myself out. And that's what the Cardinals were coming off their Super Bowl. And that's what they could sell Carson Palmer when State Farm Stadium was still like this really like in demand place to come and play. And the Cardinals were up and coming. That was me early, but now it's like I'm 37. Times are tough, right? I couldn't go out there and shoot my shot on a Joe Burrow. That's where we're at. It's time. Cut the shit. It's time to be realistic.
What happened to my friend? What happened to my co-host? What happened more importantly to my friend Johnny?
Because when you're at the stadium,
what has the team done to you?
Because
they beat you down.
When you're at the stadium, hobnobbing it, eating food, living life, I'm slumming it with everybody else, we're having to endure this team every week. I'm sitting here and it's just like first down after first down, Puka touchdown after Puka touchdown. I'm sitting here and we had to turn off the live stream last week. It was so bad. Got to shoot your shot at Joe Burrow. What the hell you do? Not in this life. It's like, you're right. Davis Mills on line 1. Hey, Davis. It's the Cardinals. Here's a 4-year deal.
There's half the league just making their packages when Joe Burrow wants to force his way out of Cincinnati, and you just want Monty Osborne to say,
I don't even want him to call. Don't even
not
call.
us. Not
Don't
us.
call.
We're not ready. We're not ready. Our glow up isn't even begun yet. We're gonna go after the caliber of quarterbacks that we deserve, and it's just I don't want to look at those quarterbacks.
Look at them. Take a good look. That's right, Steven. The 6 feet struggle is real. Luckily, my wife's into it, but the lot 9 times out of 10, you got to go out there. I feel for our short kings that are, in the dating pool, and I go to these apps and people are like, or I'm on Instagram. These girls are like, I won't talk to anybody under 6 feet.
Ruthless.
Wow.
It's ruthless.
That's time. Thankfully, I'm not living in that life. Cardinals are. All right, let's jump into your super chats. This podcast is taking a dark turn.
I thought you would like that. This is
no, but here's the thing, real quick, because we're getting off topic. Last year at the Super Bowl, when the Cardinals had some juice and everybody loved Gannon, what did I do? I tried to court Myles Garrett. I went up to Myles Garrett when he was talking to CBS, and I started heckling him. And because the Cardinals had some juice. Same thing with the Micah Parsons thing, Trey Hendrickson. That's why they inquired. They got negative juice right now. Nothing. They got to earn it. Get your act together. When they hired, but I will say it can happen fast. When they hired Bruce Arians, they had juice overnight. He came here and he reinvigorated this market, acquired players, put together a hell of a staff. The dynamics of this team and the optics of this team changed overnight. They're about as low as I can. Are they as low as you can remember?
Yes. Well, no, coming off of 23, it was more rudderless.
22, yeah.
Because they kind of had unceremoniously resigned. Cliff was blown out. They didn't have anybody in front office and coaching staff that had any kind of like ties or that resembled somebody that was working in the NFL at that time. And so at least with like Monty, I think
Dave Sears,
despite the record, you the cupboard's not completely empty, but it would take a lot of really trying to recruit it. It would be a tough recruit. But if you look at the teams let's just use the top 10 in the draft, right?
Yeah,
and we say this a lot. Like when that the Cardinals, like despite their record and them being what their record is and slumming it with these teams, what do we keep saying? There's more talent on this team than those teams. So that's a selling point. So it was like if you could get if you get Saleh.
That's why Saleh is the best.
Is that starting to like you just got a new haircut and you're on a good gym room team and you got
started on this creatine. Its name is Robert Saleh, and I'm here to F shib up. That's what it would be. Robert Saleh is like creatine, 2 weeks in the gym, get a little sun, get a little vitamin D, and you're ready to roll.
Swapped out your profile pic.
You're not peak yet. You're not peak playoffs, but you're. I just want Robert Saleh to come in here and start chewing people's ass. I just feel like right now it's like I'm mortified of Robert Saleh. I think that's exactly what this franchise needs. They need somebody scary. I thought Gannon was scary. I thought he was going to chew people out. What's going on in there? What are they doing?
Yeah. Let's get to these super chats.
There's only 25 of them.
Oh my Lord. You guys crush it. Normal day here at PHNX Cardinals. You guys continue to crush it. Let's get in the chat and, of course, super chats. Let's get to these, Noah. How about letting JG develop a quarterback will set us back 3 years. That's a big thing that we brought up yesterday. I mean, it's one of the more dangerous things you could do as an NFL franchise, pivot at the quarterback position. And if you're doing it with, some real kind of faulty infrastructure, that makes it even more dangerous.
1976 Starks, $10. Thank you so much. Sat in Casa Roja section Sunday and saw Bidwill walking around and lament that I didn't say anything to him. Would they ever allow us fans to ask any questions at a presser? I'm upset. They barely allow media to ask questions. But that's cool that you got to sit there. You'll have to let us know how your experience was. I would imagine not great.
There is no fan experience package you could purchase where they're going to let you sit down there in the press room.
Jack, $5. The product is beyond awful. No other head coach in all of sports has a record this bad and keeps their job. It's unwatchable. Fire Gannon and his goons. The Goon Squad.
Keeping it going here. How about Shane? Why would winning a couple games keep JG safe? He can't beat good teams. Congrats. You beat the Falcons. We'll give you another season. Dumb logic. That is another thing like that. It didn't make our cons, but it's another damning stat. His record against 500 teams or better over the last, nearly 20 games. It's bad.
They can't beat anybody. Paul, $4.99, just some support. Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate that, Paul. My friend. AZ Moses, $4.99. JG goes 3-14. How can Bidwill seriously look at this fan base and give JG a fourth year when he has less wins than 23? Fire Jonathan Gannon. It's impossible for us to project or predict. We'll share what we have if we get anything, but like losing out, to me, it's like, even if Michael Bidwill, and I believe this to my fullest extent, wanted to keep him, you just can't. You just it's just not a real, you don't live in reality. This is a business. This is an entertainment business. And like you would be asking so much of your fan base. And there are people, like the common denominator for the people that I hear from, yes, there's hate involved, but there's also, man, I loved JG a year ago, or I loved his press conference. I rooted for him. The tide has turned, and it's turned fast, and you just can't. There's nothing he can do right now other than, winning out that really can change that, which is really unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Shane, again, not a real org if this is the standard to keep JG.
I'm hearing a lot of that. Absolutely. $5, Desert Vulture, friend of the program. I'm the QB, the Cards draft. I'm pulling a 2004 Manning. This team has no standards. It's becoming a joke. This team also has the most excuses. Well, Desert Vulture, I just said Joe Burrow wouldn't come here. You're talking about rookies. I think rookies will come here, and just takes the right one with the right coach, and you can get this thing turned around. But they do not. The recipe is not in-house right now. The ingredients of the trinity of coach, quarterback, GM, like that combination is broken right now.
Yeah, and I think we've seen kind of we haven't seen the league deal with that since 2004. There hasn't been that. The league is set up for even like the poverty franchises to find some sort of success. And also part of that was like Peyton was in the AFC. The Chargers were in the AFC. They didn't want to be in the same conference. It wasn't completely, but they didn't want to play for the Chargers. Ultimately, Eli, but they got him over to an NFC team as part of it.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's still Arizona. It's still Scottsdale, Paradise. I mean, this is a desirable place to live. It's not. I mean, Cincinnati. That's tough because then you have to live in Ohio.
Yeah, selling it.
I chose to move here. I love living in Arizona. I don't love this team right now.
Worked for you, but I guess it won't work for Joe. Colin, been a member for 2 months. Thank you, Colin. Worst Cardinals scenario: non-quarterback needy team at pick 1, and the Rams trading both their first-round picks for number 1 overall. I think they did that in one of the most recent mock drafts. Was it PFF that did that?
If Stafford wins the MVP this year and wants to keep playing, that'd be tough. But
I think what you want with Stafford is MVP,
and then retires.
maybe it would suck because they have to win the Super Bowl. You have to watch that, but just right off in the sunset. Yeah.
Desert Vulture, $2. My son said Ask Madden has better play calls. I saw this thing today where Andy Harmon, I think, who writes for Yahoo Sports, who's been on our show at the Super Bowl and the Combine, basically said that, newsflash, like Michael Wilson's always been good and they've just suppressed his production. And like the Cardinals, basically, their offense is not conducive for allowing 2 wide receivers to do well. It's barely conducive for one because it's so tight end focused. So that's not surprising. Red Feather Workshop, $5. Timing-based scheme with no timing and utter failure to execute in the run game. Off-ball zone scheme with no stick awareness or ball aggression.
Yeah, it's a mess on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases for the Arizona Cardinals. But yeah, it's Stan Ballnower breaking it down best can there. Keeping it going here. Super chats. Shane, $9.99. Thank you, Shane. What motivation do players have for next year? No one coming is better than they had. 23 team fought for every game for K1. They knew they had the chance with K1. Can't win without him. They checked out.
I think, any time you start an offseason, I think the players give themselves a chance to reset. What we're seeing now is like the end of the year when you lose this many games in a row, players check out. It's only human. So I don't worry about player motivation this offseason. And I do think Jacoby has a lot of fans in that locker room. But, I mean, the Cardinals are going to take a break in the offseason, not the personnel people, and they'll come back for OTAs and be ready to go.
Keeping it going here. How about Lucas? Doug Peterson as an OC replacement.
We'll talk about that in January if we make it to January. Isn't that funny? All the OC talk that we've teased. Kind of have to put a pause on that. I'll share names regardless, though. We'll share names regardless. But they should have hired Doug Peterson last offseason. Red Feather Workshop, $2. Gannon, fundamentals, me watching arm tackles. That's really hard, too. They just don't play with any fire. They have no fire in their game.
Arm tackles, man. Bill, Kyler gets dissed by the national broadcasters every Cards game, not holding out hope we're getting anything for him. Can see him getting cut before June.
I think they get a pick for him. But I'm with you, Bill. Like, I think the perception with people who we like Kyler for sure, but the people who were like, this is a huge mistake. What are you doing? There's not a lot of people that we talk to in the media that feel like Kyler is going to have a really robust second act. That doesn't mean he can't do it. But like our guy, like Brian Baldinger is not a big Kyler guy. I mean, there's just people who, the people who grind tape do not think that he can have a second act that's going to get him to where he feels like he can be. And it's up to Kyler for him to change that narrative.
But they're enough. There's a select few that will take a shot at Kyler. And I think that there will be a market, but look, it's a point, Bill, that I see you're making, that if they have to make the decision to cut him, they're going to have to do it before March 15th. Like,
if your Boneye's opinion is they should just keep him if they can't cut him, or if they can't trade him, you should keep him. I mean, there's no reality in which you should cut a quarterback that you can't have a better one or have picks to go up and get one. That would be very damning. Keith Davis, $5. So what motivation do coaches or free agents have to come here if JG is back? Would anyone come here to work for a lame duck regime? Great show, guys. It's a very good question that I'm sure that they're free agents will always come. I'm never worried about that. Money is always the differentiator. Players were signing with the Raiders, the Browns this offseason. The Dolphins always get players. It's the coaching piece. Like, Justin Fry right now is probably thinking, I had a good job at Ohio State and I could be fired after 1 year. I mean, it's just that is the bigger thing, Keith. 100%. That's a great question.
Amadeus, was there any drama between K1, Monty, JG, and Bidwill?
I mean, like, I just think that, like, all parties have agreed to go their separate ways. And I think that anytime that it happens, like inherently, like there's going to be some drama. These are alpha males and pro athletes and people at the highest level of their craft. So yeah, I think yes, we can answer that question. Adrian, $4.99. Bo, does Michael Wilson become wide receiver 1 after all? Are we worried about Marv?
No, I mean, I thought what we saw in the short stint with Marv being back from his appendicitis, what do you have? 6 catches for 69 yards. He was actually, I thought he was looking good in that game and just had the unfortunate heel injury. I think Marv's trending the right direction. Some people, when I announced he was, or tweeted out that he wasn't practicing, people were calling for him to get shut down. There's no reason to shut down Marv. Like if he comes back from this heel, and most heels are not something like where you can re-aggravate it or make things worse. Like when he's healthy and his heel's good to go, benefits him to play and continue to develop. Like we still need to see like Marv string together and stack good performances and tap into his potential.
They need an offensive coordinator who can maximize both Marv and Michael Wilson. Marv needs a change of coaching more than anybody. This coaching staff. And Marv's not without blame, but Michael Wilson also is like many years older than Marv. And he's in his 3rd year. He had maxed out his eligibility at Stanford, and Marv came out early. So I'm not selling my stock on either one of those guys. Desert Vulture, PHNX Sports, is it true that the regime shut down K1 player requests other than Hollywood Brown? No, I don't think so. I mean, like they don't listen to the players. Like they have a scouting department. Like they entertain it. They talk shop, but players aren't. This isn't the NBA. Like players aren't dictating what players come here in terms of like draftable players. My only feedback is I don't think they have enough ex-players on their staff. I think that does not serve them well.
Fan belief trending down.
For now, we got another month to go. Jonathan Castro, $1.99. These last games should be looked at as tryouts. And usually that's the spin. It's like, hey, you putting this on film for other teams. But Jonathan, I think a damning piece of that is 27 rookies over 3 years. All these players are coming back. You don't want to see these players that you drafted high not perform. That's like the Will Johnson tape last week. It's like, look out. You can't have that.
No. Keeping it going. How about Steven Jackson, member for 3 months? I remember your 2-month anniversary. Big fan of Steven Jackson. Gifted 5 supporter memberships yesterday. Root for close competitive games. He's gonna root for close competitive games that show fight, but we still lose. All about draft position now. Wins do nothing for JG. The damage has been done.
I think that's the sentiment with the fan base. Adrian, $1.99. Mahomes to AZ. Maybe on vacation.
Might as well. I mean, the names Johnny's throwing around here and the cap implications.
We got Dr. Timothy Hodges, the new member. Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate you, my friend. Hope to see you in the chat. Thank you. Our newest member here at PHNX Sports.
Doc Hodges.
Yes. I want to jump to this question. Now I'll go Jacob B first. Jacob, you're telling me Joe Burrow wouldn't want to live in Paradise Valley plus the new facility? I think he would, but like if Joe Burrow's leaving one organization with a history of losing, why would he want to come to another? He would want the Stafford treatment. Get me out of Detroit, send me to LA. Get me out of Cincinnati, send me to McVay. Send me to Shanahan. I'm just trying to be realistic here. I'm not trying to be a buzzkill. I promise.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts is realistic. Let's see. Any chance you keep Kyler and restart coaching? Adrian's asking. No, I don't think there's any chance.
1% chance. I think that, I don't know. I thought about this recently because we've been having these Gannon conversations, but what if a coach interviews is just like, hey, I want to have security at that position? I'm not going to say 0%. I'm going to say 1% chance because this Gannon thing is throwing a wrench into everything. Desert Vulture, $5, Bo. This gets my attention, Monty. New York Giants right tackle Jermaine Alamuno and Raiders DM Max Crosby find a way to get them. I think the Cardinals need to get an entire offensive line this offseason.
I think they're going to be in a spot to get a really good tackle.
Yeah.
Max Crosby at this point, like, Now it just kind of looks a little messed up.
The Hendrickson thing didn't age well either.
Pick and spreads, our guy Donnie. I have an interview with University of Northern Iowa head coach of scouting department in about a month. Wish me luck. Also, when Dante Moore declares he will be ours, hashtag keep Monty. Donnie,
good luck, Donnie.
Yeah. Wishing you the best, man. Hoping all your prep, you go down the right avenues for that, and there's not going to be anybody more prepared for you than that meeting with Northern Iowa's head of scouting.
Chris talks sports 199. More realistic would be Tom Brady than Burrow. Yes, correct.
I like it. I think it's a good fit. Let's get in Brady.
I can't even entertain like the next QB of this team until I know what's going to happen with the staff. But the great news is we're going to cover it, every inch of it, ad nauseum here on PHNX Cardinals, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Hit that like button. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Banner show on Wednesday. We're off tomorrow, but we are both dropping the highly anticipated Baldy breakdown of what was a complete no-show by the Cardinals. I promise you do not want to miss that.
Right. And maybe in the exclusive member Discord, you got to become a diehard in order to access it. Maybe we'll drop how Baldy greeted us in this interview. We did the record before we recorded. It was fantastic, and about as cavalier as we've seen Baldy. We just is about as out on this Cardinals team as you could possibly be, but of course still brings the top-notch best analysis all around. It's Brian Baldinger. Don't miss that tomorrow. It's going to be dropping at 4:30. Make sure you subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Drop a like on this video. It does wonders for us. If you're withholding a like, why? Don't do that to us. Just hit like. It's so simple. It gets us in front of more people, Cardinals fans, non-Cardinals fans, people that just love talking ball, just like you and me. Thank you, PK Forever. Appreciate you and everybody that dropped the super chat today. For Noah, I'm Bo. For Johnny as well. We'll talk to you guys Friday, previewing this game for some reason, 4:30 right here at PHNX Cardinals.
We all silly like the mayor.